There was recently an attack, a Muslim, the guy's name was Jihad. Jihad Ashami ran over and stabbed a bunch of Jewish people outside a synagogue, which has now changed the dynamic in the UK. It was already tense, now it's even more tense.
There are right ways of doing things and completely wrong ways of doing things.
And this is absolutely haram, wrong. Islamically, there's no justification for killing and attacking civilians who are completely unrelated to what's happening.
Anyone who kills a person, it's like you killed all of mankind. You have to deep that for a second, akhi. Your grandfather, my grandfather, just walking into London, Queen and everyone says, oh, I want to be like you. Because of the way that they held themselves. Come back to this issue, this attack that happened in the synagogue. Put aside that it's haram, and it's a major sin. And all of these things, which is fact, right?
What image does it give us?
It's a crime. Bro, it's so bad for the image of Islam. Are you a 7 to 9 figure Muslim entrepreneur, investor, or senior corporate executive? If so, we have a network of 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs, executives, and investors. When they come together for one purpose: deal flow, connections, access. They do things to solve each other's problems, whether it be tax related, legal, B2B partnerships with big corporate enterprise companies that you are trying to get deals with. They know the contact and can set the meeting up with you. Set the meeting up between you guys like within an hour. That's literally happening inside of our network. And it's global, it's international, it's online, it's also in person. So if you'd like to apply, click the link below, inshallah ta'ala, and hopefully we can get you inside.
Alhamdulillah, assalamu alaikum. The last couple of weeks have been crazy. So much has been happening. We recently did a video where we spoke about the rise of the far right in the UK. There was an event, Tommy Robinson, things went crazy. Recently, things have been getting even more crazy, and I want to start with this. There's many things we're going to be discussing in this episode, but I want to start with this. There was recently an attack, right? A Muslim. By the way, you can't make this up. The guy's name was Jihad. Jihad Ashami, right? He came and he ran over and stabbed a bunch of Jewish people outside a synagogue, which has now, changed the dynamic in the UK. It was already tense, now it's even more tense. So much so that I remember Abbas, the night after it happened, he sent a screenshot to us, all right? It was a Instagram account, something like The Truth United or Unite or something to do with that. And it had 43,000 followers. It was a relatively newish account, 43,000 followers. And its posts were basically saying, guys, take up arms. If you see a sketchy looking Muslim, attack him.
Wow.
This is in the UK. If you see a sketchy looking Muslim, attack him, counter protest, do this, set up your own groups in your locality, we'll get together, we'll mobilize, we'll do this. War planning, war strategy. This is the current environment that we're seeing in the West. I'm sure you probably heard about the news, right?
Yeah.
What were your first initial thoughts when you saw that?
Subhanallah, these types of stories, there are so many thoughts that go through your mind. Number one thought is, Alhamdulillah, me and my family are away from this.
SubhanAllah.
This is key. You have to look, charity starts at home.
Absolutely.
This is the key. Number two, to me, it was clear, even from watching kind of reaction videos or people kind of going undercover in the protests. I don't know if you've seen videos such as this, but it was clear the people's intentions, number one. And number two, it's just the effect of, there was no one educated there. There was no point to be made. It was just a bunch of
angry
hooligans.
Let's
just be real. This is what it is. And these people are easily led. And I don't want to say these people in a derogatory manner, but if we just get down to the nuts of the crack, this is what it is. People are misinformed and easily led. And if we don't inform ourselves, this is going to continue to happen. Because the same thing what happened with this guy that attacked the synagogue or whatever. No matter how upset or whatever, there are right ways of doing things and completely wrong ways of doing things.
And this is absolutely haram, wrong. Islamically, there's no justification for killing and attacking civilians who are completely unrelated to what's happening.
And actually, you're doing a disservice.
You're making it harder for the Muslims. Now Islamophobic attacks are going to increase. Our sisters will be attacked
100%
because of your actions.
It's not just attacking civilians. It's actually worse. It's attacking someone that has a contract of peace and safety, right? Like when you live with people, if you live with non-Muslims, or whether you let them into a Muslim land or you live with them in their land, right? and you're not in a state of war, then you're in a state of
Peace. There's an assumed
right.
peace. Yeah.
So I remember I heard one of my teachers describe it in this way, and I don't believe there's a more apt description for it. He said it's madness. It's lunacy, bro, for you to want to kill your neighbor. You don't live with people when you want to kill them. Does that make sense? So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned anyone who kills a mu'ahad, right, a person who you have a contract of peace, like, as in we live together. I'm not going to harm you. You're not going to harm me, right? There's a peace treaty between us. And the fact that you own a passport, you own a British passport, bro. You don't own a passport, or you don't seek asylum in a country that you don't want to be peaceful with the people in. Am I lying? You don't live with the people and seek asylum there. You don't seek refuge there, even though we're telling you not to do that in the first place. Come to the Muslim lands. But even if you choose to, doesn't add up. Now you're going to attack them, right, and kill people who you're not at war with. It just doesn't make sense. The Prophet said, whoever does that won't even smell the fragrance of paradise. He will not smell the fragrance of paradise. And we're talking about a non-Muslim here. Because a Muslim is not mu'ahad. Muslim is Muslim. Do you know what I'm saying? These are non-Muslims that you're living with, or you're allowing them to enter your country, or you're living with them. You will not smell the fragrance of paradise, even though it can be smelled from a mile away. It can be smelled from far away. To the point where, Umar ibn Khattab said, he said that if you see a non-Muslim and you signal to him and you gesture to him that I'm going to kill you, but he understood from your gesturing that you were going to give him safety, he said it's haram for you to kill him.
Subhanallah.
As in, we're talking about a war, by the way. We're talking about war. We're talking about in a state of war, right?
Wow.
You signal to a non-Muslim. Not like literally in the battle, but as in this person...
Like surrender.
Right.
White flag.
No, as in this person has come into your lands, and you might have been at war with them. He's come into your lands, and you gesture to him, I'm going to kill you. But actually, he understood from it, he's smiling, he wants to give us safety. Or you're doing this, but he thought you're saying, come, and he comes, it's haram for you to kill him now. Does that make sense? And he was a person that would have been a combatant, but now he's come to live with you. You have to let him in. Do you understand? And then we all know the ayah where Allah says in the Quran, man, it's actually interesting because Allah is talking about the Yehud, right? Allah is talking about Banu Israel. Allah is saying that كتبنا عليهم, we decreed on them, right? أنه من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا. Anyone who kills a person and you're not killing him because he deserves to be executed because he murdered someone. No, you're killing him unjustly, right? Then, or because it's not because he did corruption on the land. This is an innocent person, right? It's like you killed all of mankind. You have to deep that for a second, akhi. It's like you killed all of mankind. It's like all of mankind died. You know what some of the scholars actually mentioned? I think it was Ibn Mansur. And this is why people have to pay attention here. What does it mean, all of mankind? Right? Is it because the sanctity of one person is equal to having killed all of mankind? Perhaps. That might be a view. But there's another view, which is that, sometimes killing one person can result to the bloodshed of an entire nation. When you kill one person, and that's there's one guy that got shot, I think, from Austria or Poland, started of World War II.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one murder, that one assassination. Sometimes killing one person actually sparks off bloodshed.
You know what else came to my mind?
What?
But wait, I shouldn't say it if the scholar didn't say it, right? That person could have had a whole lineage of hundreds of thousands of people that came from him. But you killed him, you stopped his lineage. You stopped all those people coming to life that could have come to life.
Maybe, might be a view from scholars, Allahu A'lam. But point being is that this could contribute. I can remember, when there's with the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? There's always things that led up to it. This is something that has added to the bubbling pot, that if it explodes from this, is irrelevant. It contributed towards that explosion one day. Do you understand? You're involved now, in terms of all the destruction that comes after.
You know what you mentioned, but it actually didn't even occur to me when I was preparing this episode, but it's so relevant. The undercover guys. There's this prankster guy, right? His name's Nico or Milana.
That's the one I was referring to.
Nico Defense NDO. He actually did a video where he put a mask on. He went to the rally. Akhi, the stuff these people were saying. One woman, she's there. She had a knife in her bag. She goes, "Yeah, I got a knife." She goes, "Sorry, I got 3 knives."
Yeah.
These are for the packies.
These are for who?
This is for the packies.
But did you see what she said at the end? Where she's from? She's from Mauritius.
My mom's from Mauritius. Or my dad's from Mauritius.
My dad's from Mauritius, but he doesn't know I'm racist. I need to tell him I'm racist, something like that.
Bro, people. Oh,
She said I'm racist.
Cause you know what it is? He did like Hollywood level, like
Yeah, I saw.
makeup and thing.
I
Yeah?
saw.
They took it to another level. So
came like a
people
white
were
man.
genuinely
opening up to him like, yeah,
fully.
F these migrants, all of them, the black people are the worst, and the brown, and this and that. We need, white, bro. It's actually crazy, and the actual people themselves are saying, no, there's no racism. It's just people just say that about us and this and that. You're seeing it with your own eyes. It's crazy.
Behind closed doors, things are always
as you said, bro. It's crazy, and like I said, now, may Allah protect the Muslims, man. Wallah, we don't want and wish any problems to come. Like, but look at the situation now, man. I'm dreading. I actually believe 2026 is going to be a crazy year, man. Like crazy year, because amongst all of this, you got the cost of living crisis, and that's not, by the way, that's not just in the West. That's globally across the world. Things are getting mad. Wealth inequality, I don't think it's ever been higher than it is right now. Like, we actually look back at the medieval ages, or the olden times where there was these rich kings and we had peasants and they were all just working like that. How is today any different? Billah alayk, tell me. People like Elon Musk and these Oracle guys and Mark Zuckerbergs and this and that of the world, they're amassing huge amounts of wealth, and they live like kings, bro. They live like kings, like as in they've got the influence and power. Wars are fought off the back of what these guys say. The average person is a peasant, bro, just working, struggling to get by. Some people in the UK, do you know how many people are living under the poverty line? Like the UK government themselves are accepting that there's this many children, I can't remember how many 100,000, maybe even 1 million, that are actually living in poverty. They're having to skip meals. They don't get their daily nutrition. We're not talking about Pakistan in a desert somewhere, or somewhere in Africa where or Haiti, or these countries where people usually assume, this crisis, there's aid. This is in the West, in America. Furthermore, it's the capital of the zombie land, or even in Canada, right? People taking drugs and they're going to all these things. Why? Because they don't have the money. And you're seeing now, Bangladesh, there was a crazy madness. Yep.
Nepal
recently had a crazy madness. Even Morocco, subhanAllah, people have been getting killed because it's a scary time to be living in, man. Absolutely scary time.
So I'll comment a little bit on the inequality from a financial point of view. So if we look at last 15 years, what happened, right? So we had the 2008 crisis, the recession, right? Complete recession. So what did the governments do? Print more money so that people can come and start spending bailouts, and then print more stimulus and whatnot so people can have money in their hands. They can come and start spending, so there's no more recession. Okay? So that created inflation, right? Then fast forward to 2020. What happened again? COVID happened. Everything shut down. What do? Print more money, stimulus, so now people can come back and start spending. Now, the regular people, and these money they were printing, the stimulus, they were giving checks to regular people, right? The stimulus checks. But what normal people, regular people don't realize, what the governments do is when they are printing money, they're borrowing from the future. They're taking debt from the future that needs to be paid back. Yep. You just are not paying right now. You think you're getting $600 check every week as stimulus, and that's good, and that's gonna sustain.
Explain the check, because people don't understand that. What do you mean you're borrowing from the future?
So right now, America itself, just United States of America, owes $37 trillion.
37 now.
Yes, 37. Rapidly, it's just going up.
35 the other day.
Yes, now it's 30. If you look, there's a debt clock website.
Haven't you seen that guy, the congressman, he's wearing the tracker, and it's like it's just going up?
It keeps going up. Yeah. A minute. So $37 trillion just America owes. Okay, they're paying yearly. They're part of their GDP. $1.2 trillion every year goes to interest payments. So that's how the GDP looks inflated and big, because part of the GDP, the massive GDP, $1.2 trillion goes to interest payments. So that's America alone. The whole world owes $300 trillion in debt. But the whole world's GDP is, are you ready for this? 100 trillion. So the whole world owes 3 times more than the GDP of the whole world. They owe more.
We're in the red.
The question is, who do they owe the money to?
To themselves.
To each other.
To each other. It's a massive,
giant
the exactly right word. The biggest Ponzi scheme ever is this debts and how it works. Okay. Now coming back, this inequality thing. So what's happening? People are happy, but the dollar value is going down. So there is inflation. Everything goes up, right? So when everything goes up, Sheikh,
the nappies, the diapers go up, the gallons of milk goes up, the gas goes up, everything goes up. So does assets. But who owns the assets? It's the wealthy. So their rich is getting richer with inflation. The poor is getting poorer with inflation. So in 5 years, in America, in the last 5 years, the rich, the top 1%, added $27 trillion to their wealth. Okay? Just top 1%.
In the last 5 years.
In the just last 5 years since COVID. And the bottom, so for basically what it translates to, for every dollar, the bottom 10%, for every dollar that they added, a rich guy, a wealthy guy added $1.7 million. For every dollar you added, for every dollar you added to your balance sheet as asset, the wealthy guy added $1.7 million. So what happened, Sheikh? So the inequality, now you're like, man, I thought the stimulus check was good, but I went and bought more things from Amazon, and Jeff Bezos became more rich, and now he got married with a $3 billion wedding or something, $60 million yacht, and you're just watching, like, how? Well, you paid him in the last 5 years. You've been buying mad stuff from Amazon with the stimulus checks you got. So this gap...
How many checks was it? How many stimulus checks was it?
I think they paid for 2 years or 2.5 years. They kept paying.
Oh, really?
Free money.
I thought it was a one.
Free money.
No,
free money.
it's like the furlough, isn't it? The UK.
Oh, it was the furlough. Okay, it was the furlough.
concept.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So now this inequality gap, there is like resentment in the bottom 1%, the 10%. There's resentment. The rich is getting richer. The rich is getting richer. So the gap is just widening and widening. And from the rich guy's perspective, he's thinking, with my tax bills, like I'm paying so much in tax, you guys go get free healthcare. You guys go get free education. And then you guys still commit crimes. I can live in the neighborhoods. I can walk in the neighborhoods. So I'm just leaving. Why am I even paying all these taxes? Do you understand two algorithms people live in, like real life algorithm? For the poor guy, it's you. You guys are the problems. You're stealing money from me. The inequality.
No. They've somehow understood that it's the immigrants.
It's the immigrants.
They've been brainwashed by the rich who own the media, like Rupert Murdoch's and all this of the world.
They have shifted their blame.
They've shifted the blame and said, look, guys, it's the immigrants. They're the ones taking your
They're
jobs.
the ones who brought the immigrants in.
Oh, they
Yes.
took your jobs. They took,
Yeah.
as Nico said, they took your teeth. You know that reference?
No.
No.
Yeah. I'll show you guys later.
Subhanallah.
But it's a video. He's basically interviewing a one of these far right reporters years ago, and he goes to her. She goes, "Yeah, they took my job. They took my thing," and she's missing like 4 teeth. He's like, "They took your teeth." She's like, "Yeah, they took my teeth." Like she's just going along. She's just in the agreement mode. She didn't realize what she said. She's like, "Yeah, they took my teeth as well." And it's just like
That became a meme.
But my point is that for them, they've been so brainwashed. They can't even look at the government and understand. The government's the ones that are letting the immigrants in. The government's the ones who are,
And why are they letting them in?
so that I believe so that they can show blame.
No.
Part of it is because they need the labor force, the workforce, because
To make themselves rich.
to make themselves rich. No, part of it also, I believe a big part of it is so that they have someone to blame. Because, bro, one of the biggest
I
things
think that's more of a
in
convenience
elections.
thing. I think that's more of a convenience thing. But
No,
they
man. You need the enemy.
No, bro. That's more of a convenience thing. They were gonna point to an enemy regardless, right?
But this is such an easy enemy.
No, the reason they brought them in, bro, is because of the birth rate.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Sheikh.
that's why they brought them
this
in.
is the main issue, Sheikh. There are more grandparents now than grandchildren. It's it's accurate statement in the world.
There was a
More grandparents than grandchildren.
there was a study that was published about 15 years ago, right?
Okay.
And it proposed what the UK could do if the birth rate went to where it is right now. And they came up with 4 options. And what the study proposes, and we can link it below, inshallah ta'ala, what it proposes is that the best option is basically just immigration, right? It's just immigration. It's just you just bring people in that are going to fill in the gaps that the population is just not able to keep up with. And that's exactly what happened. In the last 4 years, in the last 5 years, sorry, ever since Brexit, it's been 5 years since Brexit?
No, like 10 years.
Longer.
No, as in
8, 9
since,
years.
since it's come into play.
Yeah, probably in the last year.
Okay, well, in the last 5 years, I know that there's been 4 million people that have been brought in as immigrants into the UK alone. 4 million. The whole point,
Legally or illegally?
Legally.
just brought in. Allah Alam how it is, whether it's illegal. Point being is that you told us the whole reason why you wanted to do Brexit was to get rid of the immigrants.
Exactly.
But in the last 5 years, you just let 4 million in. You know, 4 million is that 5% of the population of the UK.
Exactly.
It's a massive
only, what,
amount.
66 million currently.
Yeah, it's a massive amount of the population. It's not a joke. You understand? So point being is that they brought them in to make themselves rich, and then it was like, wait. Let's just blame our employees that we brought in for cheap labor.
And Sheikh, the aging population is a serious problem for Western the ideology, right? Because kids don't take care of their parents. Like for us, it's not even a worry. I think it was Qatar or Kuwait, I forgot. Most likely Qatar. Qatar, right? Yeah. There is this rating index. Like, as a country you get rated. I forgot about which agency, but one of their indexes was you have to have assisted senior living facility in your country. Qatar had 0. And they're like, the foreign minister is like, yeah, actually Qatar. He said it on Tucker Carlson's interview. He said it on the Tucker Carlson interview. He said, we have 0 because we don't need it. We take care of our elderly. It's like, no, then it's going to be 0. So we just built one and it's empty. We just wanted to get the checkbox, so it's empty. Just for the sake of checkbox, we built one and it's empty because we take care of our parents. But without that ideology, like without the family-centric, the Islamic values where we take care of our elderly, without the value, look at it commercially, Sheikh. In South Korea, average, it's 0.8 child per home. Literally, in South Korea.
One.
Yeah, not even one. So this is how it is in majority of the world. So what happens from a commercial perspective, old people stop working when they're 65. The retirement age, we have to extend it now, okay? Okay, so the old people stop working 65, 67, whatever it is. After they stop working is the young who have to take care of them through their taxes and through all that because they're not contributing anymore to the economy. They are a burden. And old people are expensive, and especially if they're overweight, obese, they have all these diseases, they're expensive for the government to take care of. So you need more and more young people to work to take care of the old people. Because why are so many old people in the world? Because current generation, number one, couples are not producing babies. And number two, some couples cannot produce babies because it's men and men or woman and woman, right? So there are not enough babies being produced. So the aging population is more than younger. So the load on each younger person is more now because it's not many young people like before. So this is a huge problem. So they need to bring in a lot of young people so they can take. What are you going to do? You can't just get rid of old people, astaghfirullah, right? So what do? You need more young people so you can take care of the bills.
Now they're starting to.
I was going to say, you say that they're starting to. And even during COVID.
What do you mean?
During COVID, self-assisted dying is a massive thing in the UK right now. They're doing a bill. Where they're trying to legalize. They're trying to legalize it so they can actually kill it because, like, bro, we can't afford to.
Switzerland, you can. Canada, you can.
Yeah, Sweden, you can as well.
Yeah,
I think.
So
what is it? What is it?
I think it was Switzerland.
Assisted
dying. So if
go to a center.
you're very old, you go to a center, they inject
take care of you.
Yeah, you can decide, just inject me and kill me.
So now they're pushing for it.
Yeah, now in the UK they're actually trying to.
I remember.
People saying it's a mercy. Let them die.
When I did my GCSEs, this was what my paper was on: euthanasia.
Wow.
It was literally
euthanasia.
It was literally on this, and it was like.
Well, that's what they do for dogs, bro. When a dog reaches the end of its life cycle, they put it down. You're basically allowing the same thing to happen to your parents because you don't want to look after them. You're a joke, bro. And then you blame immigrants. You waste, man.
And the immigrants producing babies, and you're just jealous of that because they're good at production.
I'm saying, bro, we're out here. We got factories,
but don't forget as well, socially.
And they have many wives.
Baby factories.
But socially also, it's being pushed. If you look at like Bill Gates' agendas in terms of population, kind of controlling population.
Yes, of course. He's been talking about it for a long time.
Even to go as far as David Attenborough, the BBC Planet guy. Yeah. I love those shows. But at the end, he starts talking about, we need less people and there's so much on the, demand on the planet. And it's like, you think, there is a huge agenda. So it's not just the actual facts of it, it's the social aspect. The left is really pushing.
The woke left.
Yeah. And then the right is, obviously pushing other things, but this is where...
Well, Allah, and here you see, wallahi, here you see the wisdom of the Prophet ﷺ when he said, تَزَوَّجُ الْوَدُودَ الْوَلُودَ. He said, marry the woman who's loving and she's childbearing. She wants to have many kids. And the Prophet said, Inni mukathirun bikum al-umam. I want to be the one that has the biggest ummah on the Day of Judgment. As in, have children so we can have the biggest ummah. Like, subhanAllah, I think this is something that, wallahi, we have to take, man. If I think if every single Muslim had like one more child over the last previous generation, I think we'd already overtaken them or something like that. Since if we talk like 2 generations back, if everyone just had one extra child, I think we would have been the majority of the population of the UK, or somewhere crazy up there. Just one extra child. Do you know what I'm saying? Guys, just one more. Wherever you're at right now.
Another one.
Yeah, just wherever you are right now. Just,
Another one.
no, honestly, today, wherever you are in the world. You know, this is one of the things about Palestine as well. You know, you know they have children.
Yeah.
You know in Gaza, they have children. You know, a majority of the population is what?
Under 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
80%, I
50%,
think.
right?
Yeah. I think 80%. Something
I know
like
it's
that.
over 50. I don't know exactly.
Had they not, maybe their population would have just died.
Yes.
Wallahi, one of the biggest, you know,
Allah preserve them.
Amin. You know John Mearsheimer? He, you guys familiar with Professor John Mearsheimer?
No.
Yeah.
He's a big academic when it comes to geopolitics and stuff like that. One of the most well-known in the world, to be honest, as in senior. So one of the things that he mentioned was, in order to have a powerful country, you need two things. You need to have a very strong economy. People need to have money and population size. So then they asked me, what about military? He said that comes from these two. Like when you think about China, when you think about China, bro.
Manpower.
Yeah. When you think about China, bro, imagine trying to fight those guys. Just imagine.
Even America, because America's got the biggest
350
military in the
million.
world.
They've got 350 million population, right? I think they are like 4 or 5% of the entire world.
GDP, I mean, some might argue that they're on the way down, but for a long time they've been the top.
Point being is, bro, just having people, having today, everyone should just make a decision today, whatever stage you are at your life, one more child, at least one more. If not.
The final thing,
more.
wives or children. The final thing that I want to mention, on this note of the wealth inequality, is as time goes on, the gap's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's becoming harder for you to jump from low
To catch up.
to middle and middle to upper. The opportunity is getting harder and harder, and the gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually the middle is going to be gone completely.
Yeah, middle class will be wiped out.
Yeah, they're already getting wiped out.
Yeah.
They're having to sell their houses. The inheritance tax going up. A lot of people who bought farmland in the UK where it was supposed to be inheritance free. That's why the farmers were, protesting. They're driving the tractors up and down the street because they now have to pay inheritance tax on their farmland. And there's so many different ways. And right now the government's talking about what new taxes can they introduce because they need the money. There's black holes, bro. Riba causes black holes. Allah says in the Quran, He destroys riba. You're seeing it today. They're confused. Where did this £20 billion black hole come from? They're blaming the Tories. Tories did it. The Tories say, no, but you did it. And there's no money. Another thing connected to all of this that I want to quickly discuss before we move on is, I don't know if you probably didn't see it because it was UK based, but that Conservative Tory peer, Michelle Mone, her company, basically during COVID, there was a pandemic, right? So the government, the NHS, they needed a lot of PPE, personal protective equipment, I think it's called, right?
Okay.
Gowns and masks and all this stuff. No. So a lot of people saw this as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's make some money. I mean, let's help the country, number one, but let's make some money as well. Why not? So what the Tories did, they were in power at the time, Conservative Party, they fast-tracked people that had connections with them. They didn't look at merit, they didn't look at which companies have been in this industry for the longest time. In fact, there was actually companies there was one company, I remember, they sold ventilators. This actually was their what they were doing before the pandemic. This is what they did. They're like, bro, we were trying to get in touch with the government, saying, bro, we've got ventilators for you, man. And we couldn't get through to anyone. But instead, what the Tory government was doing is like, Michelle, we're boys. She and her husband set up a company. There and then on the spot, no previous history in this thing. Got I think 120 something million, maybe 200 million pound contract for this PPE. Found someone selling these gowns in somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, long story short, they weren't even fit for purpose. They couldn't even use them. They literally had to incinerate them because they couldn't use them. And they couldn't store them.
Affects the environment.
Which affects the environment, all these problems, issues. Now the Department of Health is trying to sue her and her company and her husband for the money back, and they're saying, bro, there's no money left. We spent the money on the equipment. The rest of it, profits, we've already spent it. The company's a limited liability company.
Exactly.
We're going to administration. That's it. It's gone. And people have the audacity to say, oh, but look, you guys are living in Muslim countries, or you're saying move to Muslim country, this authoritarian regimes there, there's corruption there. Are you stupid? You think there's no corruption? I mean, by the way, I'm not saying Muslim countries are perfect. I'm not saying they're perfect by any means whatsoever. But you act as if the West is perfect. Oh, we have a democracy, we have freedom of speech, we have laws and systems in place and all these things. Bro, if you just look at America. Sorry, I've attacked the UK enough. I'm coming to America now, yeah? I remember this guy called Johnny Harris. He did this video. And he basically just showed how the top officials, congressmen and women, who earn the most money from their stocks, I think Nancy Pelosi was like
Nancy
number one on the
Pelosi is
list.
number one.
Right? And the same people who vote to decide whether or not the USA goes to war are the same people that have invested in these companies that produce all these arms, who, if America goes to war and these contracts go up, they make profit.
SubhanAllah.
Why on earth would they ever say, no, let's not go to war, when they are literally going to get paid millions in dividends and shares and stock assets from taking the country to war?
That reminds me, Sheikh. I think the company's name was Halliburton, something like
Halliburton.
that. Halliburton. You know what I'm talking about, right? The
Yeah,
construction
of course,
company.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was Dick Cheney, the vice president of George W. Bush, was the former CEO of it, right? And when Iraq was completely destructed, they needed to rebuild it. They gave the full contract.
No bid contract as well.
Huh?
It was a no bid contract.
Oh, he
Yes,
didn't even
no,
have to bid for it.
no bid. Yeah, they didn't have to
open
bid
check.
for it. So basically, they overbuild it. Like they built something they didn't. You know what happens in construction, right? If there is no accountability, and the issue is the guy was the former CEO, who's the vice president, who led America to war.
Guys,
You know,
stop
the-
bum licking the West, man.
The Bush
so
family is also,
stupid.
by the way, is part of the foundation of Halliburton. Like the actual founders
Oh, wow.
are related to Bush.
I did not know that.
crazy.
Yeah, it's all leads back to the same.
And even now they're saying that now
Mullah Sheikh.
Tony Blair, who himself was a flipping war
Oh,
criminal,
subhanallah.
he's now going to be leading the peace project in Gaza. Like, it's a joke. And all these connections and
Shall I tell you one thing? Like, what we're talking about is not subjective. It's not relative. It's fact. Like, everything's been mentioned is fact, right?
Yeah, it's not conspiracy.
It's not conspiracy. There's no conspiracy. Like literally all the points you mentioned, from immigration to this, yeah. But it still falls on deaf ears. You know why?
Why, Sheikh?
Because the West is just really good at branding and marketing. And I think this is something that the Muslims really need to learn.
you're good at duping. Because branding and marketing has a positive connotation to
Yeah.
it. They're good at deceiving you. They're
Sure.
good at pulling wool over your eyes.
Sure, you can
shoving
you
a crutch
you
up
can
your...
use butter to spread. You can use a knife to spread butter or to stab someone, right? You can use branding, marketing, for good or for bad. I'm like, this just something I discussed with Ustad Muhammad Misri on our podcast. You know, we always used to hear about this, but it's actually true, and he's researched it. It's actually a valid, thing in academia. You know how Islam spread in Indonesia, bro? Just how the Muslims held themselves.
Yeah.
Muslims came, behaved in a certain way. Basically, what the point he was mentioning was this, yeah. These guys are immigrants. Muslims are immigrants who've just come into Indonesia. They don't speak the language. They look different. They dress different.
Arabs, right, Sheikh?
Arabs.
Yep.
But yet, the ruling class of Indonesia is so taken by them that they accept Islam. Islam spreads. It's the equivalent of he said, your grandfather, my grandfather, just walking into London, talking with their accent.
The princess and the
And the
royal
queen.
family.
And the queen and everyone says, I want to be like you. Because of the way that they held themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? When coming back to this issue, this attack that happened in the synagogue, it's such a... Put aside that it's haram and it's a major sin and all of these things, which is fact, right?
What image does it give
It's a
of
crime.
Islam?
Bro, it's so bad for the image of Islam. You know, there was...
And the Muslims in general.
And the Muslims in general. Abdullah ibn Ubay as-Salat, the king of the hypocrites, the leader of the hypocrites. This is the hypocrites on the lowest part of hell, and then there's the leader of them. Do you understand? The Prophet ﷺ was told by a Sahabi, I think it was Umar al-Khattab, he said, "Ya Rasul, let me just strike his neck. Just finish him once and for all." The Prophet said, "No, because people are going to say Muhammad kills his companions."
The PR.
The PR campaign. He said, "I know what it's going to be." As far as as far as people are concerned, he's a companion. He's a disbeliever in disguise. What is a munafiq? A munafiq is a disbeliever in disguise. But the Prophet is saying, the equivalent of I know what the newspaper articles are going to say tomorrow. I know what's going to be trending on Twitter tomorrow. People go to Muhammad, he stabs them in the back, right? Likewise, bro. You know when the whole ISIS thing happened, you know there was a time, right? There was a time. You'll remember this act. When a guy with a beard was seen as a symbol of mercy.
So-
Like people knew, the white man knew, everyone knew that
Respect.
the Muslim, do you understand?
You can trust him.
Trust,
maybe.
right? Then when they beheaded that charity worker, when ISIS beheaded that charity worker in Syria, this same image of a man with a beard and his trousers above his ankle, became a symbol of people who behead charity workers. Do you understand?
Optics.
So one thing you have to understand is branding, bro. Branding, marketing. You know, even now when it comes to branding and marketing, I actually just study governments now. Like we talked about in the previous episode, like the whole mortgage thing was a marketing strategy for banks. Like the mortgage is the product that the banks sell, right? And they needed to basically create a branding strategy, and it was the American dream.
Bro, they needed to sell the war in Afghanistan. They needed to sell the war in Iraq. That's what they did. They literally came up with a strategy. How can we sell the war? Weapons of mass destruction. They acknowledged that.
By the way, the guy who gave that idea was a senior executive at General Electric, right? And he told Bush, he said, you don't ever sell a product in August. This is a rule in marketing, by the way, yeah? This is a standard rule. You don't launch any products in August. August is that time of year, everyone's
Back to school.
Yeah.
Whatnot.
So you do it in September. So what he was saying to him was that you announce the weapons of mass destruction on September the 11th, on the anniversary. And you declare and you announce the campaign for going to war in Iraq on September the 11th.
There's so many documentaries about this where they've revealed, even what Khawan saw the other day. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the USS Liberty.
Yes.
Familiar?
Yeah, of course.
I've heard it, but I'm not familiar with it. I've heard it.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'll send you this video, Al Jazeera one. Akhi, I was shocked. I was thinking, bro, this needs to be mandatory viewing in every American school, every American classroom has to watch this video, bro. It's basically a story of during the 7-day war that Israel was happening with Egypt and Syria and all these other countries, a US ship.
Oh, we're spying on them, right?
ship.
It was spying on them.
Well, they're saying they were spying
Yeah,
on
and they bombed
them.
them.
And forget bombed them, bro. And they knew. They affirmed they
Israel bombed
found
them.
recording of communication between the pilots of the planes, fighter planes, and the control saying, well, what state is the ship flying on? They said it's an American ship. So we got an American flag. And so, all right, cool, attack it. And they literally started shooting it up. Actually, over 30 Americans died. Over 100, almost 200 were injured gravely in that battle.
Never heard it, man.
You never heard it?
And
Never
the
heard it.
American,
Yeah.
so many people in the comments are saying, I've never heard of this before.
Wow.
And the
Never heard of this.
American
First time
government covered it up. There's people there saying, but I was on the ship. I was like, there's like, in this documentary, there's like 10, 20 of them. They're saying, this is what happened. I gave my testimony. My testimony didn't even show up in the final thing because the government was so pro-Israel. The government was so pro-Israel that they covered it up. The Israelis said, look, we'll get our donors in the US to the president at that time, something Johnson was his name.
Yeah, Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon
Something like that.
Johnson.
Yeah. He was like, look, we'll sponsor your next campaign. We'll fund you, and also we'll tell all of our people in your country to back the Vietnam War, which he was losing. It's just crazy.
And the story is that the reason why they probably bombed them is because they were looking at the war crimes that Israel was committing at the time.
I don't know, but
So they had it documented.
First, the planes came, they shot up everyone, and these guys were chilling on the deck, shot them up, ran out of bullets. They sent torpedo boats. They came,
submarines,
shot
yeah.
5 torpedoes. One of them hit, blew up. Okay, just that one torpedo killed, I think, like 30 odd people, 30 odd people. And then they managed to finally fix one of the antennas, call for help. Suddenly, the Israelis say, "Oh, sorry, it was an accident. What happened? We didn't know it was you guys. Do you have any casualties?" A helicopter came, dropped a note saying, "Do you have any casualties?" But the guys saying, "Bro, there's blood everywhere, limbs, people been blown to pieces." Americans, Americans, they got attacked. What did happen? They got told, "Yeah, shut up, don't publicize this." The journalists weren't allowed to go near it. They actually took the boat to Motor and fixed it up, patched it up before showing it to the public, just to hide it. It's crazy, bro. That's how you know these men are wrapped up around their thumbs.
But on that note about the branding and marketing, just
Branding
to add
and
to
marketing,
it,
sorry, yeah.
you know, one of the biggest branding and marketing employees is this whole LGBTQ thing,
Yeah,
right? This whole transgender thing. They make $150,000 for every single child that has a sex change.
yeah. Gender affirming.
Pharmaceuticals.
Who does?
Pharmaceutical
Big
companies.
pharma. Pharmaceutical companies.
Do you understand? With that as in
And these pharmaceutical companies are the ones that are funding these presidential campaigns, that are funding these governments, that are funding these. So it's just like, bro,
Lobbying is.
lobbying
the
is.
whole thing, bro, is a marketing campaign. Which is what I'll be honest with you. Look, I'll tell you something. I don't like to talk about regions, this, that, keda. But this is a matter of fact. You know which country? This was accurate. This was true 2 months ago. I don't know if it's still the same or it's changed. But you know which country has given the most charity to Gaza in the last 2 years?
UAE.
The UAE.
Yeah.
But this is the one that, for some reason, people are talking. I'm like, that. I guess it's an Islamic thing, right? When you give charity, you don't tell people. Your right hand gives, so your left one doesn't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like even when the whole Burma thing was happening, you know, in Saudi Arabia they had created like this like pop-up village, and they, just for like Rohingya refugees that were bringing them in. Now I'm not saying everyone's perfect, and
that's very important to clarify. I'm not saying that it's perfect.
Not at all.
There's no issues.
But what I'm saying is that some places are great at branding, and others, as Muslims, we need to be better at branding.
So Sheikh, yeah, we're not saying it's perfect, but what we're saying is, alhamdulillah, last week it's mandatory in all the schools in UAE for kids to pray Zuhr Salah.
Well, I was thinking about this.
We're not saying it's perfect, but as far as I know, Bangladesh doesn't do it. Pakistan
doesn't do it.
Forget those. UK, US doesn't do it, rude boy.
I'll tell you something. This is a very powerful point.
You're trying to take, you're saying, look at these. You're living, you're sat there in the
this is
UK.
a very powerful. It's not just that. You know, makeup is banned in schools here now in the UAE.
What's it banned?
Makeup is banned in schools. Makeup is banned in schools.
Makeup. I was hearing
makeup is banned in schools. Phones are banned in schools.
Yeah, makeup
if
is
a
banned.
child gets caught with a phone first time, confiscate for a month, and the second time for the whole year.
And the hair
and has to be tied up.
Did you see the bullying one as well?
No.
If your school, so if there's bullies in the school will be fined 1 million dirham.
Yep.
And the child will go to jail. That's the bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you see,
But this is what it requires.
there's great stuff happening. There is phenomenal stuff happening.
Yeah.
But the thing is that
Some people like flies, they're only attracted to doo-doo.
yes,
That's the reality.
yeah.
The final thing I want to discuss, and I'll come to Wadah for this year because you're in the tech space, is people won't even know this. You might not even know this. I sent the brief.
Let's see.
I sent the brief, so hopefully my YouTube channel got deleted.
Subhanallah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my YouTube
this
channel got
was
deleted.
super surprising to hear.
And alhamdulillah, I managed to appeal it, and within 2 days I got it back from them. But this was a big wake-up call for me, man. It was like, bro, I spent a lot of time. I mean, to be honest, I've been slacking recently. I've been very busy, but I actually recorded a lot of content these last couple of weeks. I actually had a video scheduled for just before it got deleted, and it got deleted, and I couldn't release the video. And I was thinking, bro, that was all that would go to waste after now. And the ban that they gave me, I can put a picture of the email that I received. They said, bro, you're not allowed to set up any more YouTube channels ever again, ever. Like,
What was the reason actually for?
It was through a circumvention policy, which basically means that you've already been banned and you're trying to make it.
Circumvent.
But I've never been banned, or I've never platformed anyone that's been banned to the best of my knowledge. So I was so confused. But my thing was, bro, we need alternatives, bro. At the end of the day, Elon Musk owns X. Now in American companies purchasing TikTok rights for the algorithm in America.
Yeah.
All of this is happening. Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram. They now own them both. YouTube is owned by Facebook as well.
No, Google.
Sorry, by Google.
Yep.
What did the Muslims have, man? Like if all these companies decide one day that Muslims are off of it,
Yeah.
what's there for us? Do we need an alternative to these mainstream platforms for Muslims? What do you think?
100%. I think that's the only way that we can find any solutions. But I think the number one thing I'd say is, and this ties back to what we were saying, is that the Muslims have now become the consumers of the world. You know, fundamentally, you look at the population of the Muslims, you'd think this group of people could be very powerful, but we're not. And that's because we're literally buying what they're selling, whether it's PR, whether it's products, whether it's whatever. We're just, and even like, for example, now, if I buy something unhealthy, yeah, I'm buying it knowingly. Like, it's in moderation. I'm going to have one donut and then I'm good for 6 weeks or whatever. Yeah. This is not my regular diet. At least I'm doing it knowingly and I'm doing it in moderation. Our problem as Muslims now is there's no moderation. We've become worse than, the people that it was intended for. And we're making these people more powerful, more money, more capital. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy against us.
If you wake up in the morning, 4 a.m., you'll see more people, non-Muslims, jogging on the street, some of them with their flipping dogs, than you will see Muslims going to the masjid for Fajr.
100%. And look at even, you have to look at the younger, unfortunately, like younger trends of, like, let's say brands like Gymshark, for example. They're doing these collaboration with, like, this Muslim girl designer, whatever. It's because they know that Muslim market now is one to tap into. Yeah. Not because we have power, because we don't coordinate. That's our problem. There's no coordination. If we sat together and say, okay, we've all got 10 dirhams, yeah, we pool it, it's worth a lot more than every single one of us going to buy in different places. Yep. This is the problem we're having. And yes, it's good. We need to build something for us, by us, but we also need to, it's a mindset shift that needs to actually happen. because we're just losing ourselves within this consumerism kind of rabbit hole, and that, you know, the, what do they call it, hedonic treadmill. We're just kind of non-stop, you know. It's a fine line, and it starts, you know, this is when we mention other races, other faiths, or whatever it may be, they start very young. Yeah. So even if you're talking about, you know, I don't know, Sikhs, Jewish, whatever, when you look at how they establish from very early, it's become like a stereotype. You know, oh, you know, they put them in like these math clubs, and you know, they're so hard on them, and the tiger mums and whatever. What are the Muslims doing?
What are our good stereotypes, right?
Yeah, what are they?
Yeah.
It's either they're being suppressed,
Yeah.
or they're just not there anymore. So this is I think the thing that we need to really change, and with that, then things will start to improve, and then obviously we can kind of invest in the PR. And another thing I'll mention as well is like this lobbying thing. If you can't beat them, join them in a way. If we're able to,
absolutely.
why can't we do it?
Absolutely.
In a halal manner, you know, we can influence things. I've never in my life voted. Just because I know my vote doesn't mean anything. Doesn't count. Yeah, it's a waste of my day going to a school and standing in this poll station or whatever. Because that's all PR also. Yeah. That's part of it.
Makes you feel like, oh, I have a say. You don't have a say.
Exactly. So we need to take it back, you know, tell our children, our ummah, how the game is being played. Yeah. And then, you know, like you were mentioning, you haven't heard of this USS Liberty, whatever. Yep. That's by design. You're not supposed to hear about it.
That's not hard.
Yeah. I want to send it to you. Please watch it. I promise you.
And you know, by the way, you know the president, that you mentioned, Johnson. Yeah. If you look at his life, yeah, his biggest influence, I believe it was his aunt. Yeah. And she was one of the top Zionists. Like part of establishing Zionism.
His aunt used to say to him, Lyndon, look out for Israel.
Exactly.
Israel's God's beloved people.
She pushed it.
You know when Kennedy got, because Kennedy was his
president
predecessor, right? When Kennedy died, he said
he was actually anti-Israel.
Yeah, so
he was anti-APAC.
Anti-APAC, sorry.
Yeah,
anti-APAC. He was demanding that they be added to the foreign body.
My man went to APAC,
They died.
Lyndon Johnson, and he was like, "Listen,
Charlie Kirk.
You lost
he died.
He said, you lost a friend, but you made a greater one. Israel lost a friend, but made a greater one. So yeah, you're right. It's by design. But look, on the point about this media thing, just to add on a couple of things, yeah.
Do you think it's even possible to have a halal?
Absolutely possible.
Because the algorithms, what they feed off of, what they benefit from, is rage bait, is sexual content, is girls dancing half round. That's what made TikTok famous. Girls were dancing half naked, guys were loving it, girls were loving it. There's, anger-inducing content. That's what the algorithm loves.
Look. It's absolutely possible. What you've just presented is a problem, and every problem has a solution, right? It requires creative minds to come together to find a solution, just like China did. WeChat, right? It just so happens to be something that they disseminate media on, right? It's a social media, but it has utility. People buy and sell and pay their bills and everything on WeChat. So you could make, for example, an app like that provides some utility, right? That people need in their day-to-day lives, like transferring or whatever, or a gaming app or something, And then just in that, you kind of just then it evolves and becomes something that people need for X purpose. Like, why am I on Instagram? I'm not on it because I want to be a consumer of content. I'm on it because I've got a business and I promote my business on there.
Distribution.
It's distribution. Does that make sense? So you can create something that solves a particular problem, and it just so happens that adjacent to that problem, you also then putting media in. But
let's start working on something. Man.
But a couple.
I think something's already there. Sorry
I don't think so, man.
I mean, in terms of distribution, like now, just my kind of with my business hat on, I'm thinking of things like Bottom, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a really successful company, UAE based and started. But they have things like transfers and messaging, and so it's like it has the distribution initially. But the main thing is, are we going to support it? That's the question.
Or are we so deep into WhatsApp, man? I'm so used to using
and not
it.
just that. Are we so short term in our thinking that look, Sheikh, now if you want to drop content, you're going to go to Instagram and YouTube because that's where the audience is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But are you going to say, you know what? I'll wait 6 months, build it with the brothers or whoever is building it, in order to get that distribution into Bottom or whatever app, that's ours, for example. Or are you going to say, you know what? Listen, I've got 1 million people here. Let me just feed them and continue that.
I'm
That's
downloading
the thing.
Bolton right now. Support our people, man.
You understand? So it's about us. What do we want to do, and what are we willing to sacrifice? In everything, there has to be a little bit of sacrifice for the long-term win.
A couple of things just to mention on this, because I've been thinking about making our own social media for a while, yeah. Just so people can understand how mammoth of a task it is. So not only do you have to create an application that is going to solve problems and have mass adoption, right, which in and within itself is a feat. But I think that's actually the easier thing. I think the more difficult thing is getting it getting approved on the App Store. You know, App Store, bro, is a big gatekeeper. And as long as they would just.
Bro, we need to make our own phones then. We need to make our own devices.
Okay, you're right. Like China did, right?
Yeah.
So
Look at the Nothing. Look at the
Huawei.
Nothing phone.
Huawei.
The Nothing phone. Huawei. These types
okay,
of.
but then what if
But does nothing not run the Android app?
No, they do. They do. But Android is open source.
But then there's a problem.
Not like Apple.
But then there's a problem. You made a phone, but the network say we're not going to host you. Do you understand how much work needs? As in, think about it. If there is actually a phone, a hardware, right? That people are then having applications on it that have taken them, that have decentralized them from everything else in the world, and they do nothing. You think
You
they're
can't
going
get data.
Huh?
You can't get data because
You
no
can't get
network
data.
is going to...
So then you understand how much work needs to be done.
Then you need satellites.
There you
for
go.
the data,
Now you're
satellites.
talking.
Okay,
Then
and
you
if
need
you
satellites.
or
How'd you get a satellite
maybe
without-
you don't need satellites. Maybe you need powerful, influential people in those network
Exactly.
companies. My point is, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and the reason I wanted
It
to go for
requires a level of thinking that most people aren't even ready to even sniff.
no, but you know what it is. I don't want to frame it like that. I'd rather you say it requires sophisticated level thinking, and we're starting the discussion, because I don't want people to become helpless.
No, you're right.
Like, I don't want learned helplessness.
You're right.
It starts with a conversation. You know, one thing that I'm sick and tired of is oversimplified solutions for very, very, very complicated problems, bro.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, let's make an app. Nah, bro, there's a lot more to it. You have to.
Lot of moving parts.
But you know what? Start building it. Be that guy. You know, start building it.
Is your phone trying to communicate something to you?
It's Bolton.
Oh, okay.
Two quick points on this, Sheikh, right? Sometimes we overthink and we think it's not going to work. For example, what is this product made for? Let's take the example of a gym. Gym is made for working out. But gym owners might think, how am I going to have a gym without women, without music? Young guys come and they enjoy that. So gym's not going to run properly if I don't have it, even though they're not actually coming for it. But these are the attractive things they need to have. Alhamdulillah, tabarakallah. Look at Oxygen Gym. Wallahi, Sheikh, it's packed now. It's packed. And it's 10,000 dirham a year. One of the most expensive gyms in the world.
£2,000.
Yeah, not in the UAE, in the whole world. One of the most expensive gyms. They don't give you music. They don't give you women. They also don't give you towels.
Towels.
Yeah, but, and I heard young guys in the locker room. I was so laughing. So I'm not going to use exactly his words. This is young guys, like 17, 18 years old. I was like, bro, I went to this gym. This woman is doing this move in the gym. I couldn't take my eyes off her, man. I was getting distracted, But I'm here. Oh my God, I'm in so much peace because I can actually work out. I'm not getting distracted. And they're using slangs and whatnot. But the point being, imagine how much I heard. I'm not sure. I've not fact checked it. They invested 30 million USD in that gym.
Yes.
30 million USD.
That's
right,
the
brother?
Dubai one. Yeah.
That's the Dubai one.
Yeah.
30 million
30
USD.
million.
Wow.
Without any proven concept that a gym works without music, without women. But their principles, we're not going to have any music or women, but we're going to provide you the best gym. And this is not me saying best gym who just been working out for 3 years. This is the professionals, the bodybuilders, like who travel. Non-Muslims who travel around the world and they say this is the best gym. So the point being is sometimes, Sheikh, we overthink.
Yeah, you're right.
Sometimes you just gotta be the one. Sometimes you gotta be the Elon Musk. Like there cannot be any proven concept. Like you are the one who proves it. That
You're doing it with your startups, right?
This
this
how
guy
I
just finds
approach-
problems
this
in
is how I
Dubai and says,
approach
I'm going to
anything.
solve them.
As you said, this is how I approach everything. So I do have, so there's two approaches. You said we oversimplify things, yeah? And there's a place for that within thinking about building. But there's another place where you have to be super ambitious, yeah? Ambition is free, yeah? Let's just go for it. It's like, that's one thing you don't have to pay for. So you might as well go for a crazy idea. That's how these people get funding. So it's not because they come in and say, yeah, we're going to turn your $100 into 110.
No, they're not
Nobody wants to
interested.
hear that.
VC is not interested.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
And people want to hear like, okay, this is gonna 1,000x.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if it's wild, That's why they want to. It's a risky investment, but that's why. This is one. So we have to have that big picture. One. Number two, if we get into that, like I believe actually that is the biggest problem, is that we feel like it's already been done though. You know, like, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg owns everything, and it's like the defeatist kind of mentality. And that's where a lot of Muslims are. It's like, it's already been done. And then you can take examples like Salam Cola or these types of things where you'd think that's the most saturated market possible. Yeah, like a fizzy drink. But they came in, they done really well. There's no such thing as...
But even Brother Ibrahim from our network, he outcompeted Coke.
There you go.
He made a drink that outcompeted Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
Sold it for 10 figures.
Exactly. So you can't have that type
Nine
of...
figures.
That type of mentality. So we have to have that kind of ambition. And again, it's just, you know, like one foot in front of the other. That's it. You know, it's not impossible. We can do it, but we need to believe that we can do it.
Can I mention one quick point, Sheikh? On this one, very quick. So sometimes we have to do a social media thing what we have control over. Sometimes, like, instead of thinking so big, just I don't endorse like all his thoughts. Like, there's this gentleman, his name is Andy Frisella. Okay, he's the owner of First Form Supplement Company. It's one of the fastest growing supplement company. It's actually a really good supplement company. Like I've been using it for the last 6-7 years. Supplement company is good. So what he is, he's America first and all that, but he's completely anti-social media. He's like, social media is killing people's attention span and whatnot. So he does not post shorts. He said, I'm anti-shorts. I don't post shorts. Like, I don't want people's attention span to decrease. So his podcasts are like 2 hours, 3 hours long. Like, you listen to it or you don't listen to it. Number two, he does not post any of his content on Instagram. He created an email community. It's like, if you want to hear my thoughts on topics, like daily he sends out his thoughts, but only on email community.
You have to read it, focus.
You have to read it, focus it. Plus, he does not want traffic to go to Instagram or not. And this is America first Christian white man. So sometimes you have to start with, where is our email community? I'm talking to myself. Like, where is my email community? Like, email, at least we have control. Like, nobody's coming after your email. Like, yeah, this is my community every day. I'm sending them something. So it's not on YouTube. It's not on that. I'm sending them actual real value through email. And this is my email community. So we have to start somewhere.
Barakallah feek, man. Hopefully you guys benefited from that episode. I think it was a very beneficial one. I benefited myself.
For sure.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Chai with my boy. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.